Yellowstone National Park, a vast expanse of natural beauty and wonder. A place of breathtaking beauty, teeming with wildlife and geothermal wonders where nature's raw power is on full display. But beneath this idyllic facade lies a slumbering giant. A supervolcano capable of unleashing unimaginable destruction, hidden from plain sight. While the chances of an eruption are incredibly slim, the potential consequences are so catastrophic that we cannot ignore them. The sheer scale of devastation would be unprecedented. If Yellowstone were to erupt tomorrow, the world as we know it would be forever changed, with landscapes altered and climates affected globally. This is not a tale of science fiction, but a stark exploration of a very real threat that scientists are diligently studying. We will delve into the fiery heart of a supervolcanic eruption, examining its immediate impacts and the long-lasting scars it would leave on our planet, reshaping our world. From choking ash clouds to a world plunged into darkness, this is the terrifying reality of a Yellowstone super eruption, a scenario that could unfold. This is not meant to instill fear, but to educate and prepare, ensuring that we are ready for any eventuality. By understanding the potential consequences of such an event, we can better equip ourselves to face the challenges it would bring, fostering resilience. The knowledge we gain from exploring this worst-case scenario could be the key to our survival, helping us to rebuild and adapt in the face of nature's fury. Imagine a day like any other when suddenly the Earth shudders with unimaginable force, sending shockwaves through the ground and causing buildings to sway precariously. The Yellowstone supervolcano, dormant for millennia, roars back to life with a ferocity that has been building for thousands of years. A towering column of ash and molten rock blasts miles into the atmosphere, marking the beginning of a global catastrophe that will change the world forever. The immediate impact zone, hundreds of miles around Yellowstone, would be obliterated, leaving a desolate wasteland in its wake. Pyroclastic flows, fast-moving avalanches of superheated gas and ash, would incinerate everything in their path, leaving nothing but destruction. The eruption wouldn't be confined to Yellowstone. Its effects would ripple outwards, affecting regions far beyond the immediate vicinity. Trillions of tons of volcanic ash would be ejected into the atmosphere, engulfing much of North America in a thick, suffocating cloud. This suffocating blanket of ash would bring darkness in the middle of the day, making it impossible to see and turning day into night. Breathing would become difficult as the fine ash particles clog our lungs, causing severe respiratory distress and health issues. The ashfall would be more than just an inconvenience, it would disrupt daily life in unimaginable ways. It would pose a serious threat to life and infrastructure, creating hazardous conditions everywhere. Just a few inches of ash can collapse roofs, cripple transportation systems, and contaminate water supplies, making survival even more challenging. The weight of the ash, combined with the potential for rainfall, would cause widespread building collapses, trapping people inside and necessitating extensive rescue operations. As the ash cloud from Yellowstone spreads across the globe, it would trigger a chain of events with far-reaching consequences, affecting every corner of the planet. One of the most dramatic effects would be a sudden and severe drop in global temperatures, altering climates worldwide. The sulfur dioxide gas released into the atmosphere would reflect sunlight back into space, causing a phenomenon known as a volcanic winter, which could last for years. Temperatures could plummet by several degrees Celsius, plunging the world into an extended period of cold and darkness, affecting both natural and human systems. This sudden shift in climate would have devastating consequences for agriculture, as crops fail to grow in the harsh conditions. Growing seasons would be disrupted, leading to widespread crop failures and food shortages, impacting food security globally. The environmental chaos wouldn't end there, as the atmosphere becomes increasingly unstable. The disruption of atmospheric circulation patterns would lead to extreme weather events around the world, including powerful storms and hurricanes. Some regions might experience severe droughts, while others face torrential rainfall and flooding, creating a patchwork of climate extremes. The delicate balance of the Earth's ecosystems would be thrown into disarray, with wildlife struggling to adapt to the harsh new conditions. The combined effects of ashfall, global cooling, and environmental chaos would bring human civilization to its knees. Major cities, once bustling centers of commerce and culture, would become ghost towns buried under mountains of ash. Transportation systems would grind to a halt, cutting off supply chains and isolating communities. The collapse of infrastructure would have dire consequences for human health and well-being. Hospitals, overwhelmed with patients suffering from respiratory problems and other ash-related illnesses, would struggle to cope. Access to clean water and sanitation would be severely compromised, leading to the spread of diseases. The psychological toll of such a disaster would be immeasurable. The loss of loved ones, homes and livelihoods would leave deep scars on the survivors. The constant fear and uncertainty would take a heavy toll on mental health, leading to widespread anxiety, depression and PTSD. Section 5. A world on hold, the ripple effects of global disruption. The impact of a Yellowstone supereruption wouldn't be confined to North America. The global interconnectedness of our modern world means that the consequences would be felt far and wide. International trade would come to a standstill as shipping lanes become impassable and airports are forced to close. The economic fallout would be catastrophic. Stock markets would crash, businesses would collapse, and millions would be plunged into unemployment. The global economy, already grappling with various challenges, would be sent into a tailspin with far-reaching consequences for years to come. The social and political ramifications would be equally profound. Governments would struggle to maintain order in the face of such widespread chaos and disruption. The potential for social unrest, conflict and mass migration would be high, as people desperately seek safety and resources. Section 6. The long winter, a future shrouded in uncertainty. The immediate aftermath of a Yellowstone supereruption would be a period of unimaginable devastation. But the long-term consequences are perhaps even more concerning. The global cooling triggered by the eruption could persist for decades, if not centuries, leading to a new ice age. The prolonged period of cold and darkness would have a profound impact on life on Earth. Many plant and animal species would be unable to adapt to the rapidly changing conditions and would face extinction. The delicate balance of ecosystems would be irrevocably altered. The impact on human civilization would be equally profound. Our ability to grow food, maintain our infrastructure, and sustain our way of life would be severely challenged. The world as we know it would be gone, replaced by a harsh and unforgiving environment. Section 7. The Toba catastrophe, echoes of past eruptions. The idea of a supervolcanic eruption plunging the world into darkness may seem like the stuff of science fiction, but it has happened before. Around 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano in Indonesia erupted, unleashing the most powerful volcanic event in human history. The Toba eruption dwarfed even the most catastrophic eruptions in recorded history. It is estimated to have ejected over 2,800 cubic kilometers of volcanic material, plunging the Earth into a volcanic winter that lasted for several years. The Toba eruption had a profound impact on life on Earth, causing a genetic bottleneck in the human population. Some scientists believe that the eruption pushed humanity to the brink of extinction, with only a few thousand individuals surviving. Section 8. A watchful eye monitoring the giant's pulse. While the prospect of a Yellowstone supereruption is terrifying, it's important to remember that such an event is extremely unlikely in our lifetime. Scientists estimate that the probability of a supereruption at Yellowstone in any given year is extremely low. However, the potential consequences of such an event are so significant that scientists are constantly monitoring Yellowstone for any signs of unrest. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, or YVO, keeps a close watch on the volcano's vital signs using a variety of instruments and techniques. These include monitoring ground deformation, earthquake activity, gas emissions, and heat flow. By carefully tracking these indicators, scientists hope to detect any changes that might signal an impending eruption, giving us as much warning as possible. Section 9. Conclusion: Preparing for the unthinkable. A super-eruption at Yellowstone would be a global catastrophe with far-reaching and long-lasting consequences for human civilization and the planet as a whole. While the probability of such an event is low, the potential impact is so great that we cannot afford to ignore it. By understanding the science behind supervolcanoes and the potential consequences of an eruption, we can better prepare for such an eventuality. This includes investing in research and monitoring, developing emergency response plans, and raising public awareness. While we cannot prevent a supervolcanic eruption, we can take steps to mitigate its impact and ensure the survival of our species. By learning from past eruptions like the Toba catastrophe and heeding the warnings of scientists, we can face the future with greater resilience and hope.